Welcome to Spirit Outspoken, where we dive deep into the realms of spirituality, healing, and the beautiful chaos we call life.
From ancient traditions to modern practices, we are going to explore it all. Whether you're a newbie or a seasoned seeker, you're guaranteed to find something that inspires, challenges, and intrigues you here.
So grab your favorite beverage, find a cozy spot to curl up, and join us for Spirit Outspoken.
Hello and welcome to season 2 of Spirit Outspoken. Woo! Rach and I are so excited. We took a short hiatus from filming and we both have significant withdrawals. So It's good to be back, guys, which of course you wouldn't notice because we're releasing every single week. But we've had a break on this side because we front loaded the recording for season 1 and we've been planning and getting ready for season 2, which is just so exciting.
It is.
Yeah, so we were just reflecting on all of the amazing things that happened in season 1. And man, I think first and foremost, huge thank you to everybody that's listened, that's followed, that's shared it, that's rated us on Spotify and Apple Podcasts. You guys, that is so kind and it means so much because that is going to help me and Rach just expand our reach, spread the good word of Spirit Outspoken, and continue to bring spirituality to people's day-to-day lives. So thank you.
Yeah, it has been so fun. It's so funny. So the other day you posted like a little reel that talked about what goes into a podcast.
Oh, yeah.
We had no idea.
No idea.
We were getting ourselves into. And I mean that in a great way. I mean, but it was so much more learning than I ever anticipated. Like if people only knew the amount of work and research and time and everything, planning. I can see why people start podcasts and stop because there's so much more involved than anyone can really anticipate. And I just feel so fortunate that we're doing it together because we're able to totally learn and we each take on our own little roles that maybe we're better at or more patient at than the other. And little by little, we somehow managed to pull it off. And I'm so proud of us.
I am too. Yeah. And it's really funny. You guys, if it was like up to me and I was doing this by myself, I would have stopped the first second I had to redirections to something.
I was thinking that the other day. Jason's fabulous at research. She and Charlie were just on it when it comes to the equipment and tech side of this would have put me over the edge and I just would have been like, forget it.
Oh yeah, no, that was Charlie. I was like, can you figure this out? We don't know what we're doing. Remember when we showed up, we had like a little desk and a single mic and we were like, wait, this isn't going to work.
We didn't even
Something's wrong.
We had microphones backward, upside down.
I know, it's so
plugged
true.
into things they weren't intended to be plugged into.
I know. I think that's what's really fun about like jumping feet first, head first, everything first.
Yeah.
Into something new and just having, I don't know, the faith or the confidence that you'll figure it out. Yeah. And it's been fun to figure it out together. So yeah, we're happy to be back. And and I think it'll be like a little smoother for us on the back end.
Yeah, well, I hope so.
We got a season 1 under our belt. We're experts now.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah. Just to recap season 1, we talked about all things love. And I'm curious, what was your favorite episode, Rach?
It was fun. As the season went on, I really appreciated each episode for its own little bits of information. I thought there were a lot of really great nuggets in all of them. I love meta so much that I really loved that. I also ended up loving our last episode, which is where we just poured ourselves a glass of wine and we talked about how we incorporate spirituality with our kids and in our home.
Yeah.
I don't know. I just thought that was really fun and sweet and a little bit more casual and also just some really good tidbits that people can use and apply. And
yeah.
Those are probably my 2 faves if I had to pick.
Those are my 2 favorites.
Really?
Yeah. I like that you said we poured ourselves a glass of wine. You guys didn't see how many glasses we had. You probably heard us sipping, though.
I did hear it on every once in a while.
I know. I heard that and like me talking into my
the muffled sounds of the goblet.
Exactly. No, I really love meta too, and I think it was because a couple of things. It really helped me in a time of need, and it's something that's so simple that has major impact. So those are the things that I love. And also your meditation. Like I did not know you could do meditations like that. Like, I know you're a very talented individual, but I was like, oh my gosh, you could just like do a meditation.
I think I've just listened to enough,
Hey, listen,
for so many years.
Those who listen can't necessarily do. So kudos to you.
Very sweet of you.
And we posted a bunch of helpful resources. So you guys, if you haven't checked out our resource page on our website, spiritoutspoken.com, every week, Rach creates a resource guide that associates to the episode topic. So if you want to learn more, or if you want to, like, for example, the fostering spirituality at home, plenty of people have shared with me that they want to increase faithfulness, spirituality, and not necessarily through a religious lens. This is a great place to start, and it's good ideas, and it's a way to incorporate it. You can print it out. You can use it on your phone. So we encourage you to keep learning, keep doing it at home, because that's really what makes the topics that we talk about on spirituality real and come to life.
And that's really, before we even started this podcast, that was one thing that we had discussed, is we want this to be a little bit different in that we want to make it easy for people to take what we talk about here and then apply it and use it in their own life. And those are really helpful if you're new to this, or even if you've been doing it for a while, to just get fresh eyes and a fresh perspective on things. So
different perspectives. Check it out, people. And don't forget to check out the blog. We're going to have a blog post up that recaps our thoughts on season 1. And also, if you haven't already, we have a post up on why we started the podcast and a little bit more about our friendship if you're curious to learn more.
Yeah. And I must say, I have to give Jace a prop. So if you've never read any of Jace's writings, you need to go do that, because she's very gifted and she does a great job. So
whatever
treat yourself today.
My love language. Words
of affirmation.
Words of
affirmation.
That was? Yeah, that was really nice. Okay, so season 2. We are digging into emotions. And the reason why is because when we were talking about love in season 1, we realized how important emotions are to our spiritual development. We saw in season 1 how powerful love is, and that really created curiosity in us. What about other emotions like joy, happiness, enthusiasm, excitement? And then on the flip side, what do negative or low vibrational type emotions like shame, fear, sadness, what is the impact on those on our lives? So researching that, and really this all comes from the hypothesis that emotions are energy. Emotions have a vibrational frequency, and we know that if something has a vibrational frequency, it can impact our reality. So understanding more about emotions and how we can use them, how we can leverage them, and how we can improve them is really worth seeking out as we talk about continuing our spiritual growth.
Yeah. And as you explain all that, can you tell us more about what's in the pipeline? Because I really am excited about this season, because we're going to start dabbling in some interesting topics that some people may not be aware of or have any experience with whatsoever.
100%.
Yeah.
So we're going to talk about how your emotions are your life compass, and they can tell you if you're going in the right direction. They can tell you if something's off. They can help you in your decision making in those times where you're just like, I don't know, do I say yes to this? Do I say no to this? We're going to talk about really practical ways that you can listen to your emotions, you can tap into them, and then you can guide them to either get you back on the right path, or you can use them to make the right decision for yourself that will really increase your happiness on the day-to-day basis. We're also going to be talking about the concept of power versus force. So power is high vibrational frequency emotions like enlightenment, happiness, love, joy. And again, like not the love that you think about in the mainstream sense of platonic love or relationship love. This is spiritual love. And how that can set certain things in motion in a positive way in your life. Mm-hmm. On the flip side, force is more ego-based, right? So you're making decisions from your ego and saying, okay, I got to make this happen. Instead of letting life happen, you're making life happen by pushing, manipulating, forcing, just striving, being aggressive and making things happen. And listen, like I have learned so much about this personally. And I can tell you that shifting the balance from forcing and making to letting and flowing has such a major impact on your day-to-day piece. Mm-hmm. That's like an easy, quick little fix. It's not like overnight easy, but when you start realizing your patterns and behaviors of making ego-minded actions versus heart-minded actions, that really has a huge part in your happiness and wellness and spiritual being.
Yeah. And I think a huge thing that you said in both of those is there's action in both.
Yes.
Because I think a lot of times there's a misconception that if we flow and we do this, then we're just being lazy and nothing's getting accomplished. No, absolutely not. You're still moving forward and you're still taking action.
Yep.
It's just the energy behind that that's changed.
100%.
Yeah.
Yeah. You're letting the energy work for you, not against you.
Yes. Yeah. And you can tell the difference. We've all had that.
Oh, yeah. It's basically, are you energized or are you exhausted?
Yeah.
And I talked about like fighting fake arguments in my head. There's so many things that I do just that like I've done previously before I've like really tapped into some of this emotional work where I would exhaust myself over literally nothing.
Yeah. Yep.
We're also going to talk about chakras. That's a really fascinating topic, right? So if you don't know about chakras, they're different energy centers in your body that correspond to different emotional well-being and health, and how we store emotions in different energy centers in our bodies, and different things that we can do to either move those energies through or strengthen certain emotions as well. So the concept is if these chakras are blocked or there's energy that really needs to be expanded, right?
Yeah.
For example, your throat chakra. Say you're somebody that's struggling with speaking up or speaking your truth. There could be something that's blocking your throat chakra. And there's exercises that you can. No, I'm literally not. That was a random example.
No, that was yours? Yeah, that's the one I really had to work on a couple years ago.
Okay, so, speaking of chakras, I have an overactive solar plexus.
I love that about you.
Yeah, which means like fiery, self-assured, right? But, that can have some issues. So the key to that is balance. We'll also talk about somatic exercises, and the concept there is energy is stored in different parts of your body. Yeah. So you can leverage different exercises to release those emotions.
I am so excited to dive into that further, and especially for people, and again, we are not psychologists, but the relationship that I'm learning about between trauma being held and stored in the body and ways to help release that. That's going to be awesome.
I think so too. Yeah. I'm really excited about that. And lastly, we're going to talk about how emotions can affect your reality. There are real life studies that have been done that show this, that you can literally see the impact that anger, shame, hatred can have. And on the flip side, things like joy, prayer, meditation, the physical aspects and impact on these vibrational frequencies from these emotions that can have. But really, why we want to focus on emotions is because we both were talking about this. Many of us face a period in our life where we simply don't feel fulfilled. Like you call it the midlife crisis, but I guess I'm midlife and I don't feel midlife. So that term feels very antiquated to me. So I don't even know if that's a phrase anymore, but we all at some point inevitably face this point where what we thought would give us emotional fulfillment doesn't. That could be money. That could be your job. That could be your social status or your marriage or your dream home, right? So these different things that you thought were going to bring you joy don't quite bring you joy. Even parenthood. A lot of us maybe set out and say, okay, if I have children and I have the white picket fence, everything should be good. And if you're left saying, I thought the things that would bring me this fulfillment or this joy or this happiness aren't, emotions are the first thing that you can leverage that can indicate to you whether you're on the right path or not. So when we talk about how you can leverage emotions, this is really what we're getting to.
Yeah. When you talked about having children, so as someone too, I think, who struggled with infertility, it was our only goal for so many years, and I had this kind of idealistic view of how wonderful and beautiful and amazing, and it would just be snuggles and sweet blankets and cozy everything. And the reality that comes, and there certainly are moments and aspects of parenting that are that, but there's a lot of times that are incredibly challenging and stressful. And I think,
it's like a dead fish to the face. You're like, this is what it is. No, I say that in jest, but it's true. Like many things, You get the job that you
Yes.
think you want. And then you're looking around and you're like, wait, I have this now. And that didn't quite have the effect on my life that I thought it would.
Yeah.
Or I had the child and that feeling is maybe not there that you thought it would be. And we're all fulfilled in different ways by these different aspects, right?
Yeah.
Careers, children, our relationships. But if you're simply feeling like, hey, there may be more, there's an opportunity to feel more joy every day, that's really what we're after. And how we believe, based on our research, that you can use emotions to get to the bottom of.
I love this.
You guys, like, this is fascinating, mind-blowing stuff. So all about emotions, baby.
So excited.
I'm so excited. Thank you guys for listening. Again, if you found today's episode helpful, please pass it along to other people in your community. Stay tuned next week for another episode of Spirit Outspoken.
Thanks for joining us for today's episode. If you're ready to take your spirituality to the next level, be sure to check out our website, spiritoutspoken.com. There you can download free educational resources, read our latest blog posts, and join the Spirit Outspoken community.
And don't forget to follow us on Instagram and TikTok at Spirit Outspoken to stay up to date on news, happenings, shenanigans, and all things Spirit Outspoken.